Hey everybody, and welcome to An Accountable Wild Ride with Steve-O. I gotta say that in the 2 days since we recorded this podcast, I've thought long and hard about not putting it out, because do I really want to be that exposed for the things that I felt compelled to talk about? Is it even appropriate to talk about these things at a public level? You know, I took account of where I'm at and how I feel and what I'm struggling with. And, you know, it is what it is. And it's very, very juicy, to say the least. Plus, man, am I just choked up with gratitude for the part about my team and what my man Paul Brisske has to say about me as a boss. That was really heavy. It's just all like very raw and honest, and let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, me and the guys. We've got the gorgeous Paul Brisske in the house.
Hello, everybody.
He's back.
Vinny. Imperati.
That's right.
Scott Randolph. The Wild Ride crew. And
Wendy.
It's my birthday, and I got the blues, man. Like, I don't like birthdays. And it didn't even have to be my birthday. I was already struggling.
Why don't you like your birthday?
I thought you were upset because we didn't text you on your birthday.
No. That's my number one thing, is that, and there's a lot of things. It's not number one. I don't like how I gotta battle through hundreds of text messages. You know, it's just annoying. Like, I had to just bombarded. That was my whole morning. It's just, oh, thank you so much. Yeah, really appreciate it. Yeah, I love you. You know, like,
for somebody that loves attention so much, that's kind of like, that's surprising.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
At what age did you start hating your birthdays?
26.
He knows it on the dot.
100%. 26. I remember 25, I was working in nightclubs as a circus clown, just getting drunk and lighting myself on fire, doing fire-breathing backflips in this nightclub. And I got fired for getting too drunk. But I got the job on cruise ships. I was stoked. I was celebrating. The next year, 26, I'm working in the circus. And I showed up to work. Everybody's there. Like, the whole day, I did not tell one person that it was my birthday, because I was bummed that I was 26.
Why? What's 26?
Yeah, because that's old. Like,
I mean, it was older than I cared to be, and it was just all downhill from there. You know, I'm 26. 25 was cool, but 26 is a step too far.
I mean, this is sort of like the end of like some sort of childhood. Like, no one says like, you're young when you're 26. At 25, they sort of say that still, but
Yeah,
like,
they do. Everybody's older than 26 says, you're young.
I mean, now, like, I'm 49. It's a straight bummer, you know? Like, and every year, my birthday just makes me a whole year older. It's this annoying day that makes you an entire year older when you don't want to be older. And people bug you with texts all day. And what else?
But isn't it like a blessing because you didn't think you're gonna live past 30 anyway? So like you're like, dude, I'm fucking plus 9. You know.
Sure. Now, like I can talk about some positives too, about how getting older, when you go through life and you manage to learn from your mistakes and make appropriate adjustments to overcome and whatever, you know, like what ends up happening is you kind of get better at the art of living. And I can't help, even though this just probably sounds douchey and arrogant, but I genuinely feel that I've gotten a lot better at living. And when you get better at life, it really takes a lot of the pain out of getting older. It's like, yeah, I'm older, but I'm better. And I do feel like I'm better in a lot of ways. So there's that. But why I've been struggling, and it doesn't have anything to do with my birthday. This has been going on. like,
You gonna bring it up?
I don't know what you're talking about. No, like, I don't know what you're talking about. What I'm talking about is this dynamic that I've started seeing happen on my social media. When I'm posting on social media, I want to post like what's gonna crush. You know, I want to all through this is gonna be a banger. It's gonna crush, and I'm posting like, you know, like gnarly stunts, like jackass clips. You know, like, and I don't want to post just like what's going on with me and where I'm at. You know, because like, what's going on with me and where I'm at isn't like super exciting. It's not something that's gonna totally crush. I just can't bring myself to post something where I'm just sitting there, you know, like whatever happens to be going on. I want it to be some kind of like super high level crazy thing, but then I just see that on social media, what I'm posting is just kind of not representative of who I am, you know, like. And I was really conflicted about, like, when I like twice I've posted me getting choked unconscious, and you know, with Michael Bisping in the octagon, there's something super official about that, and it got all this press, and I was stoked. But in the back of my mind too, I'm like, you know, because I know Jeff Tremaine and Knoxville just hate that so much. Like,
What, the
Just
choking
seeing it
out
again?
video?
they hate seeing me get choked out.
Oh.
They hate the idea of putting that out there as something that's cool, you know, like, you know, it's just like they think it's dark.
Well, why did you put it out there?
Because I thought it would crush. And it did. Not only did it crush, it got picked up by Sports Illustrated.
So many outlets.
Like the Daily Mail, TMZ.
What, you getting choked
like,
out by Mike, but not by Michael Bisping?
By Michael Bisping.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one where you got choked out 6 times.
Right, and then that's
Oh.
the thing, is that it was just like a couple weeks ago I posted Michael Bisping, but then I'm like, I want to promote my upcoming UK tour, so like what footage do I have from the UK that's a tie-in, you know, where I can, and I was like, oh dude, I'll post the getting choked out 6 times. And dude, I went back and deleted that. I don't know if
yeah?
I don't know if you noticed that. I went
not.
back and deleted it for 2 reasons. One, I thought like it was just like a community guidelines violation waiting to happen. I mean, can we even like touch on how ridiculous it is that if I post even the most slightly underdressed and not sexual, but like scantily, you know, like anything even remotely half naked with Lux, boom. Like, they're so sensitive about
All platforms.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But
Are
that
you talking about
surprises
all-
me because I see like super hot chicks wearing almost nothing like all the time on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's I'm under a spotlight. I think I know what the reason why all the platforms got so sensitive about sexuality is because of what was in that Pornhub documentary. Did you guys watch that?
I did, yeah.
The documentary on Netflix.
Look at his hat. No shit, he watched the Pornhub documentary.
Vinny's over there wearing a Brazzers hat. The Pornhub doc, it was crazy. Like, the law used to be that, like Facebook, whatever, like, that none of these platforms were responsible for what got posted on them because they're not media platforms. They're just like servers, you know, so they're like, hey man, we're just a platform where people can put stuff up. We're not responsible for what people put up. And that kind of makes sense, you know, to an extent. But with Pornhub, they were like, people were uploading like criminal stuff, you know. There was like non-consensual stuff. There was like stuff with minors,
Yeah.
you know, like, and their Pornhub's taking the position, hey man, we're just a platform where people upload stuff. We're not responsible for what gets uploaded.
So now they can get in trouble.
Now that a law changed not too long ago where they put their foot down and they were like, yo, like, you are responsible for like, particularly around sex stuff.
Can we?
So like anything remotely sexy, boom, taken down. But I post being violently strangled unconscious and thrown onto my head 6 times in a row, and it's totally cool with Instagram.
Yeah, but isn't that the problem? Like, it can be replicated by people?
I mean...
It wasn't the thing about Jackass was like you guys were doing stunts that couldn't be replicated?
Imitatability was a high concern.
Okay.
Like anything that's easily imitated, it represents more liability.
So that's why MTV couldn't show that.
Well, we filmed like the entire cast being choked out by Gene LaBelle for the first Jackass movie, and even with the R rating. But I don't know that ever even made it to the Motion Picture Association for ratings purposes. I think Spike Jonze, Knoxville, Tremaine just thought it was dark and didn't want it in.
I don't think there was no humor in it.
Yeah, maybe, probably.
So what exactly are you blue about? That you've disappointed Knoxville and Tremaine by posting 2 chokeout videos?
No, it's not that.
No, I know what it is, and I think it's getting back to the point of like you're like sitting here working your ass off to do a post. And like, I don't know why you're blue about it, but I think the problem is that you're trying to, when you post on social media, you're trying to go quality over quantity. When what your idea would have been cool in 2009, 2010, like, you know what I mean? It's like a sacred page where people would go to look at your shit. But now I feel like everything's all algorithm based, and they're going to reward you based off quantity, not quality. But you're still in the thing where, like, I can't post that because it's not fucking epic. But, like, here's all these other people that are posting complete bullshit, and their numbers are growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said for that. Like, I want, like, I'm just so sensitive about how stuff performs, you know? Like, I want it to be, like, epic. I want it to crush. I want it to be rad. And what I got to do is just like relax, I really need to just have like help with it so that
I think, but like if you look at other people that are in your same world, like they're just blatantly promoting shit. And like what you like to do, and I don't know if you've told people this or you noticed, but like you like to have it behind the fold. So people could, like, you're still giving them entertaining stuff, and you're not pissing anybody off by soliciting. And if they're like, it's like you putting a promotion at the end of a video. It's like it's for a certain amount of people that really want it there versus up front.
I want to tell a story and then use the story to organically promote something that is like tied to the story. And we did that really well with the Johnny O boards. We told this rad story about me in Knoxville, and you know, and then it went in. The best we ever did it was with Tony Hawk, when we told the story about my history with Tony Hawk and the double wall ride, and then we sold those prints. Like, I really am super proud that my main channel isn't a bunch of like includes paid promotion where it's like, you know, I mean, that podcasts that are that, and that's how podcasts work. But my main channel is really like, you know, it's my baby, you know, and I only.
But what is the problem? Because we're almost there.
We're almost there. Why am I blue?
But in pertaining to social media, and like, I think you're like 5%. We're almost there.
Yeah. What it is that I'm scared of me and just the way I am, like not being rad and awesome enough. You know, like I want to maintain this persona, like this image of like just the guy who's the wildest thing you've ever seen, and like everything's so gnarly. And I'm just feeling that that's not like authentic to who I really am, but who I really am like isn't a crusher, you know, like and so I'm just scared of. I'm scared of easing into like who I really am, and that like it's not going to engage with as many people, and I just have to like come to terms with who I really am, put that out there, and whoever is down with it is down with it.
But why is there something that you like? Give us an example of something that you wanted to post, but you thought like, no way, I can't do that?
Everything.
Like what?
I mean,
you meditating?
what do I want? I mean, I put on my stories like my meditation streak and
But
stuff.
is there something you have in mind that you're not saying that you're like?
Okay, I mean, dude, I have a million ideas on the whiteboard. You know what? Not only do I have a million ideas, but I feel empowered to make them happen. And that's just what's up. And it's a good thing this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Because, look, this was super therapeutic, this whole conversation. And if you're thinking, man, I really should have this kind of a situation for myself where I speak up about what's going on, what's bothering me, process it, figure out the way forward, then there's no better way to do that than BetterHelp. Because it's a whole network of super qualified, licensed therapists. You can like plug in exactly what it is that you want to talk about, what you want to work on, and be matched with somebody who specializes in that area. I use it, I love it, and it's really helpful, and I'm very happy to be sending you to betterhelp.com/Stevo for 10% off your first month. And again, it's like a network of licensed professionals, and BetterHelp.com has matched like 3 million people with therapists, and mental health is a thing. So it's BetterHelp.com/Stevo. BetterHelp.com/Stevo for 10% off your first month. Now let's get back to it. Like this tour bus that we're in, this piece of shit RV. I'm dying for you to find an RV dealership that has the same exact make and model and year, like brand new, so that we can go and do a tour of how this thing began and then cut to all of the ridiculous changes that I've made in here. You know, like a before and after Stevo's tour bus video.
And what, you're hesitant of making that video?
I'm hesitant.
Because you think it won't perform well, or because people are going to say like, oh, this dude used to be so rad, now he's making his RV?
More that I don't think it's going to perform very well.
And are you talking?
Yeah, but doesn't that take the fun out of everything?
That's
You know
what
what I mean?
social
It's
media
like,
is for.
I know. Paul's the editor, so you're so intimately tied into this. You know,
Sure.
like you've got to be understanding where I'm coming
But
from.
are you talking about YouTube? Or are you talking about Instagram? Are you talking
Everything.
about
everything he's talking
Yeah,
about.
I mean, there's a number of things you're kind of talking about here, because yes, like you're sort of obsessed with outside validation, but that's
Yeah.
also your whole career, and your income is based on outside people being like, that dude's rad, I want to pay for what he's done. But also for you to post like something not an insane stunt, it's like nobody looks at the legacy of Stevo any less because you're not stapling your balls to your leg today.
Right.
Like you did. Like it's like Paul McCartney when he makes an album, not exactly comparing you to Paul McCartney, but like when he makes an album, like it doesn't kill that. It's not Sgt. Pepper, but like we don't think of Paul McCartney any less. Like he's the dude that made Sgt. Pepper, you know, like
Right.
your legacy is intact.
And I've been okay with putting up videos that are just like stories and like don't have to be super gnarly, but there's just like got to be something like high level about it. You know
I
what
guess.
I mean?
I like that you hold yourself to some standard. I think, and especially like you can compartmentalize these things. YouTube channel, we hold a really high standard for what we put out.
Yeah.
And like we don't like to put out something that's like, who wants to watch 20 minutes of like us painting the RV?
but like an Instagram post, like when you see Bert Kreischer be like, dude, I got doing a story, like I got 10 tickets left, come get it. I got 1 ticket left. Like you would never in a million years tell the world that you had 10 tickets. You wouldn't do that. Like, what do you think about?
I know, and here I am, like, getting ready to tape this unbelievable bucket list special in London, England, and I haven't even been able to bring myself to
Why?
promote it.
Yeah,
Like,
what's the reason behind that?
I don't know. I gotta do it.
No,
dude.
but why? Like, what
I
do you
just-
think about?
I just feel like it's not, you know, it's not going to be well received. It's not going to be like people are stoked.
But if I was in, like, dude, if I'm looking on a story and I'm just like, oh, dude, Bert just took a shit. Oh, fucking Rogan just posted yet another part. Like, I'm not mad at these guys. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, it's quick info. if I'm a fan of Steve in London, I'm like, oh, dude, like Steve's in London.
All right.
Fuck,
And then also, like, there's so many different creative ways that you can go about doing like a promo of a tour. You know what I mean? Like, look at Bert, look at Matt Rife. The one that Matt Rife just released, he did one with like Ashton Kutcher. You know, and it was pretty funny. He just like released his world tour that he's doing. Like, you could figure out creative ways to promote shit.
But even if it tanks, like, it's the whole point of social media to fucking just feed the beast.
And if it tanks, that just means they scrolled past it. Nobody, like, people don't go to your Instagram to like see like what's new, what's happening, and then they're like, oh, I was let down. That was a waste of my time. It's like I'm scrolling for hours and hours.
Or sometimes they won't even push it. The Instagram won't even push the video.
Dude, it's like Idiocracy. They're just like, that's literally people. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think what it is, there's some way that when like a story is well received, then it gets prioritized. It'll be like all the way to the left on your row of stories on the top. Like if people are really engaging with it, like Instagram can tell what people are engaging with. They'll push that up. And so if something's not engaging, then it's just never gonna ever come into the...
But sometimes it's gonna happen, sometimes it's not. And it's like, if you put a lot of effort into something and it doesn't hit, then like...
Right.
And I feel like it just like, it takes the fun out of everything. And when you take the fun out of everything, like, what are we doing this for?
Right.
I guess we're making... Yeah, it's the paycheck, but it's like, what? Like, why did we start doing this in the first place? It's because it's fucking fun. You know?
Right.
So it's like, that's the main thing. Like... You're just stressing so hard about
people just want content.
Like analytics, and I get it because we do bust our ass to make these videos. But at some point, it's like, when is this not fun anymore? You know,
it's so scary how like democratic and like just it's right. The numbers are right there. You could just see like.
But if someone didn't see it, then they didn't even know you posted it in the first place. Like, if it only got 10 views, that means only 10 people even know it's there. The million people that didn't see it aren't upset with you.
Right. Well, I'm glad I brought this up. Thank you guys for that. And I really, and I don't mind being vulnerable and letting people.
No, it's a big step. I'm actually surprised. It's like very painful for you to talk about. I can see it.
Yeah.
But it's good because like it's all bullshit. Like it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a tough paradox to live in. Like, we do give a fuck when they do well, and when they do well, like,
of course,
that's awesome. And like, you should give a fuck about what you're doing. Like, that's why you're so successful. But also, like, your art is your art, and you have to have fun doing it, like Vinny said. And like, if you love it, put it out.
Right.
You know, like,
I do really love the before and after tour bus video.
Well, yeah, what else do you want out there?
I mean, dude, I got a whole whiteboard full of...
Is that why we're not doing it? Not because we're not busy? It's because you just don't want to... Because there's some cool shit up there, dude.
Well, there's a ton of stuff up there. And yeah, like we gotta, move forward with some content. And in more of a general sense, not just about what I do or do not post on social media, like, I just think that, it's kind of the same idea, but like my bucket list show is so like high level, like intense, like everything is stuff that could not have happened on Jackass because it's just like somehow gnarlier, most of it. And I've absolutely got this next tour in me, the Gone Too Far tour, even higher level, but I'm not going to spend that much time, doing... So, I've got a high-level tour, and I know my next tour is going to be super high-level, intense. And, but otherwise, I'm just not, I'm just feeling mortal.
We're all mortal.
Yeah.
We're all mortal.
I know.
I think a good thing is like people listening in the comments, like fucking, give Steve some love or give him a shout out, like saying it's not a big deal,
Yeah.
I think that's...
I mean, nobody's mad at Mike Tyson for not fighting right now.
Right.
Nobody's like, you're Mike Tyson. You're the fucking, why aren't you in the ring? Like,
yeah, Mike Tyson.
We love him. We love him. He fought. He's a champ. Still a champ. But he's doing podcasts. He's doing
But he's posting, you know what I mean? He has somebody else just posting bullshit for him, and I'm not like, fuck Mike Tyson. I'm like, dude, yes, Mike Tyson's the shit. Like, keep posting. I want to see more.
And I also think, sorry to interrupt you, I also think like people enjoy seeing like
Every aspect.
Like, yeah, every aspect of a celebrity. Like, me personal, most of the time I like the behind the scenes shit more than the actual content. You know what I mean? Like, as far as like Jackass goes, I think I like the .5s better sometimes, you know? And
a lot of people have said that.
Yeah, and it's just like, it shows you as a human. And like, it's the same with the podcast. It's like, do more solo podcasts. You guys are great just shooting the shit, you know? It's like, because we're us.
Authentic.
You know, we're authentic.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a banger gas. We're putting so much work into it's like, this will probably get decent amount of views. You know what I mean? more than fucking
I know, it's crazy.
Aoki.
It's crazy how like we get these guests, so many of our guests, and people aren't interested in the guest. Yeah. And it's probably worth noting that we're putting up 2 podcasts, I think, per week for like a 3-week stretch.
Yeah, I think people will like that. But I do also want to, I don't even want to clear up the air, but this is something that we've never talked about on here, but like kind of just been maybe hearsay, or maybe we have, but Paul's back in the studio.
There have been a lot of people asking what happened to the gorgeous Paul Brisske. Did you guys have a falling out? Was it a scandal? And we're going to let you know exactly what happened. And I'm glad that we're addressing it. And I'm glad that I'm addressing my health with AG1. I'm telling you, man, I'm very ritualistic. Meditate, yoga, AG1, then coffee. And you can jump on this, man. AG1 is the most delicious nutritional supplement to start your day with, and it fills in all the gaps in your diet. It's got everything you need for gut health, like everything, man. I love this stuff, man. And if you go to drinkag1.com/Stevo, they will give you an entire year's supply of vitamin D to boost your immunity and 5 free travel packs of this comprehensive and convenient AG1 nutritional supplement. Jump on this deal. Go to drinkag1.com/Stevo. Yeah, dude. Now let's get back to it.
And
I mean, Paul's the studio, technically, the editing room. Paul's never left.
But people always ask where Paul Brisske is, and we need to talk about, like, you know, where you went, why, what the whole thing happened, or, you know, what's going on.
I think the question is, where didn't he go?
Yeah, that is the question.
So what's been going on in the world of the gorgeous Paul Brisske?
I mean, people think you got fired, but that's not the case at all.
No, I didn't get fired. You know, I don't know. I've always sort of tried to keep, like, my work life and my personal pursuits a little separate, right? And try to not be too, like, sucked into things that I have a feeling of autonomy and freedom as I go about. And so, like, you know, I was saying, like, oh, I'm going to Argentina for 2 weeks to record an album. And I kind of did that a lot.
And you were trying to move to Phoenix, too.
And I was going to move to Tucson, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I was going to move to
Arizona.
Tucson. So, but yeah, I've just been traveling a lot and recording a lot of music. This year I was in Italy for 2 weeks, and we were like in this wine cellar of a 100-year-old house, like recording an album. And then I went to Argentina and worked on it. I don't know, I just travel a lot, and I really value my autonomy. And like what this show deserves and needs is like someone who's like here all the time and gonna be in every episode. So it kind of just made sense. There wasn't like a big blowout. I think maybe people assume there was like, you fucking blew it, you're fired. It was just kind of
and that's why I'm bringing it up, because I want to like make that known that, like, dude, we've never been upset with you or anything like that. If anything, encourage you to focus on your music.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I brought it up, to just so people listening know that, like, it's been all love the whole time with you.
I love that, and it's also really impressive how you figured out how to remotely edit from anywhere in the world. Like, our workflow is completely global. While we were in Australia, we're recording podcasts. We're uploading them into the cloud. Like, Paul's off in Argentina and pulling them off of the cloud onto the server at the house in Los Angeles and remotely cutting it together. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter where in the world any of us are. Like, we're able to operate at a high level, and that's incredible. And so Paul's been the quarterback of the media department, like without interruption
The whole time.
Yeah, and candidly, at one point, I was like, man, like, you know, Paul, you're traveling so much. Like, I feel like what we need is consistency. And Paul was like, yeah, dude, I totally get it, man, easy. And but it's good to have you. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
back.
It's good to be here. And I'd be lying if I didn't say sometimes I sort of mourn, like that I like lost this consistent gig of being on this show. Like I always told you I love being on the podcast, and like so like sometimes I go like, oh man, maybe I blew it, maybe I squandered an opportunity. But in the end, then I remind myself like, I don't know. While I was doing it, I was kind of thinking like, man, I wish I had a little more freedom to move around. So
Yeah.
I'm glad.
But you're making music now. You have working to get your music that you've been working on.
Yeah, go to That Kid Is You on Spotify, Instagram, everywhere. We have an album we made a few years ago that I left for 2 weeks to do a few times. That album's called Argentina. And we have a new one that's sort of like in the works right now that we started in Italy and then worked on more in Argentina. But yeah, That Kid Is You. That's my band.
And you made an album with your fiance.
And I made an album with my fiance, Christine. That's called The Modern Mystics. Also on Spotify and everywhere.
And you have a podcast going on.
And I have my own podcast called the Elk Lodge Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube.
Yeah, I mean,
You guys are the
shit.
best. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I've always felt supported in this, and like, you know, sometimes I'm like, man, maybe I made a mistake, or maybe I don't know what I'm doing, but it felt right to me to travel and to do the things I'm doing, and so I've just always kind of followed my heart and my gut, and that's
Oh,
where I'm
good,
at.
man. I've always felt selfishly like I want you all to myself. You just work on my stuff. And, like, I also would never hold anybody back from pursuing their dreams. And so, like, I just, as much as I want you all to myself, I've been completely supportive and encouraging of you doing whatever you want to do.
Which is an incredible compliment and like very appreciated as well.
Yeah. And the fact that you've figured out this remote working so that, you know, I mean, dude, I got people hustle on my team, man. Like, with all of this being in different countries, putting these videos and podcasts together, like, there's time zones at play. And like, I can't count the times that Paul has stayed up until like 6 o'clock in the morning to get something out. You know?
In the time zone that I'm in, yeah.
Yeah, like the dedication, the loyalty from every one of you guys and everybody else on my team is off the charts, man.
Yeah. I mean, while we're publicly praising people, like, you're like the raddest boss I've ever had, and you do such a great, like, look at the people around, like, we're like bros. You know, it's like we all say, like, I love you, and we mean it. And, like, not a lot of work environments are that way, feel that way. Like, there's no, like, weird HR department or, like, corporate structure to this, yet it's, like, a fully legit, like, company that's cranking out incredible stuff. So, it's awesome.
Dude. Thank you for that, dude.
Yeah.
I'm all choked up. So what's going on in the world of Scott Randolph over here?
Nothing. I'm just got my house, and I got my dad there right now, and he's.
Have you seen us staying in your guest room?
No. I have a guy because it's on a hillside, so I have the seismic operator like trying to figure out the pilings to see if it's safe over there right now. And so,
Safe, what, to build more stuff?
to build more stuff and to see if the existing is safe. You know, to see if like the pilings are.
Isn't
like,
that something that you're supposed to do before you buy the house?
Yeah. They did that, but
checking this
then,
now.
there's some stuff going on in the back that I wanted to check out because it's kind of like leaning a little bit. And the guy who came over to build, he's like, "Are you sure this passed?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, look at this." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck."
He, like, puts a ping pong ball on the floor, just rolls to the side.
And then Cordell comes over to do my table, and he's like, "Do you have a marble?" I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "The house looks like it's leaning over." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here." You know, but
Oh, dude. Couple things. We did not score a touchdown with those fart noises.
oh yeah.
I blame myself for that. I should have known as an editor that's going to be distracting. And
I mean, I only wanted it just during the one part where he said it a million times because he was talking about taking a shit with with Lil Dicky.
okay, so
Yeah.
maybe, I mean, I dropped out every and fuck because we were getting dinged on YouTube, and like we want this podcast to perform well, and we don't want things working against us.
People thought like we were censoring it because I think they said all the shits were taken out or something like that.
We took out every shit and fuck. But if it was
Jesus, let's mellow out. Like we get dinged if you swear too many times in one space.
Yeah. And if it was so if he was actually talking about shit like poop, I put in a fart sound. If he just said like, yeah, we were like hanging out and shit, and then it was just dropped out.
People were pissed.
Yeah, and so I apologize, everybody. That's on me. You should still go check out That Good Is You.
What's going on, Steve?
We brought that up because it's a problem when you use profanity too much, and then we just threw out like 18 profanity words. Can you believe these guys? I mean, why were we even talking about that? Profanity, man. It's vulgar. But nothing is more vulgar than a nasty, big, hairy bush. And that's why I'm so happy to give you guys this epic deal from Manscaped.com. Look, dudes, it's summertime. You're going to be taking off your shirt. You're going to be at the pool. You're maybe even going to be in bed with some ladies. And there's nothing that grosses a woman out more than an unkempt disaster in your nether region. So if you haven't tried it yet, then it's time to try Manscaped. And if you go to manscaped.com and use the promo code STEVO, you can get 20% off your order plus free shipping. And what do you want to order? Let me tell you, the Weed Whacker. It takes care of all the nose hair, all the ear hair. It is just worth its weight in gold. Thank God for the Weed Whacker from Manscaped, and extra thank God for the Weed Whacker 2.0. You got the Lawnmower 4.0 with the flashlight on it so you can see what you're doing. You got all this great stuff at manscaped.com, and it's time to get over there and use the promo code STEVO for 20% off your order plus free shipping. Yeah, dude. Now let's get back to it.
All right, well, we can mute them instead of do a fart noise. But so why? What's the problem if we do? But if we say the S word, like within a certain matter of like 10 seconds.
I just know that happened. The first time we ever did a solo podcast, I was on a rant about the death penalty, and I dropped F-bombs like so many times in the space of 30 seconds that the whole podcast was age restricted on you. And you take whatever views you're at when a video gets age restricted, and you can just go ahead and hold on to that number because it's not going any higher.
Yeah,
you know,
really?
like,
yeah,
you have just completely chopped off the legs of that podcast, and that video will not go anywhere. I mean, it like negligible viewership after that. And so, like, knowing that is a rule, like, I am particularly sensitive when I hear swear words a lot of times in the space of a small amount of time, because, like, I don't want that happening to our channel. And so during that one story with Benny Blanco last week, like, he just kept saying it, and I was like, okay, boom, age restriction. We got to do something about this. And so I thought, since the story was about him pooping, put a fart noise over the S word. You know, like, it's not a big deal if you swear. You just can't do it repeatedly a lot of times in a small space. That's the rule. And no more fart noises. Easy.
No more fart noise.
Yeah, I think people would just mute it, you know?
Yeah.
Or...
Just, I mean, like I think that it probably makes sense to tell the guys, hey, swearing's fine. You just can't do it a lot of times in a row. So be selective.
Well, you know how you can make it right? You can give something away on the podcast.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Okay, now, the true diehard fans of the Wild Ride podcast will be aware that whenever there is no guest and it's just me and the boys, we give stuff away. And, it's another thing that I'm kind of blue about and sensitive. Like, on one hand, I wanted to stop beating the people over the head with promotion. I said that a while back, and I've really pretty much honored my word. I haven't been promoting much at all. But then I'm down at the warehouse yesterday, and the FedEx guy comes and says, hey, you got any pickup for ground? And our warehouse worker's like, nope. And I'm like, man, we've not sold one thing for the FedEx guy to come pick up. Not one. And then I'm blue about that. So, I mean, whatever, dude. I'm not too tripping. But I love it when we have these solo podcasts because we just give stuff away, and then that gets, the blood flowing in the warehouse. And I can't believe I'm about to do this because it's really a high-priced item. These shoes. What were we selling these shoes for?
I think 69.
$69.
Right? That sounds about right.
And are we really gonna just give them away? We have like 300 pairs.
What's a wholesale price?
We bought them for $20. I know that.
At least.
22.
Yeah.
$22 a pair.
And this is the collab.
Well, then we had them at Amazon.
And they're literally Emerica brand
skate shoes. Slip-ons.
Slip-ons. Like they're high quality value shoes.
Yeah, because we had them on Amazon, and I closed down the one company's Amazon, and then they sent them all back to us, and so that's why we have.
Okay, so we have 300 pairs.
Is that right, Isaac?
We have 300 and something pairs. Okay, so we're gonna take an L on these shoes. We're gonna give them away for $15 a pair.
Yeah.
That's less than we paid for them. But you got to pay for shipping.
Yeah.
And shipping's tough when you're on Amazon.
And then
there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah, while you're at the site, you can check out the cum board.
Yeah, dude, if I posted the new Skyjacking skateboard on Instagram, it would get community guidelines violation.
You think so?
I kind of think so. The way it's me, a cartoon me, like falling out of an airplane, blowing a load.
Yeah.
It might raise some eyebrows.
We made like the load itself like just comically big to cover my junk, but there's like hairy nuts creeping out of the bottom. It's great. It's a great piece of art. The question is, how many people want that piece of art?
I bought one. I paid full price. I love that shit. I like collecting boards now.
Yes.
Yeah. I consider Skyjacking, this is probably pretty weird to say, but I consider it the crown jewel of my career. Because...
Really?
Yeah, because there's so many layers to it, dude. Like, to find how many times did you call the companies?
Yeah.
You said, hey, I got Steve-O, and they're all excited.
I mean, can you explain what a crown jewel means? Because, like, I would think that at all your career, you have the Skyjacking, that's for sure it, but, like, dude, the fact that the mountain lions were fucking pawing at your head, like, rings a bell.
Right.
Or there's swallowing the goldfish.
Okay. And yeah, those were gnarly things. And we will be putting out a video called Times We Could Have Died with Chris Pontius. And it's pretty epic. But the thing about Skyjacking is that I have worked on live comedy like for 13 years now. And the journey has been... Like, I'm not gonna like put it down as like, oh, I was like working, it's because it was great, but like the amount of growth, the amount of work that got me from where I was when I started doing live comedy to where I am today, that's like Mount Everest. I asked Paul to pull a clip from my first comedy special, as well as a clip from my second comedy special, so that I could promote the taping of my third comedy special, which is July 14th in London, England, and hopefully July 13th, if I could bring myself to promote it and sell enough tickets to get to that third show. But when Paul pulled a clip from my first comedy special and he showed it to me, I was like, I can't do it. Because there was this palpable insecurity where I was just like, I'm not particularly mad at the material. I thought the material was fine, but I was just so insecure that I had this thing where, like, when I told a joke, I would be like, like laughing at my own joke, and it was just this cringy, palpable insecurity just on display, and I can't do it. Right? Is that a fair assessment?
Definitely. Like, it's good you grew out of that, and it was kind of like, it was like an insecurity, like a crutch almost. You were kind of leaning on.
Yeah, and like two and a little bit years after I taped that first cringy comedy special, 2 and a little bit years later, I taped the gnarly special, and there was unbelievable amounts of growth in those 2 years. But still, man, the gnarly special, like it was better by a lot, but still, And now I'm about to tape my 3rd comedy special, The Bucket List, and it's been more than 5.5 years since I taped gnarly. And like the difference between The Bucket List and gnarly is going to be like Mount Everest style growth. You know, I really believe that, and I'm so profoundly grateful for my first 2 comedy specials in that they serve as milestones for where I was at the time. And like I've just come so far. So the reason why I consider Skyjacking the crown jewel is because like what I've made my thing is all of my worlds coming together. I've got the live comedy, I've got the stunt video footage, and it's all like merged into one. And like Skyjacking, with all of the comedy of errors and all of the efforts, you know, all of everything that it took to get a company to sign off and a guy to strap himself to my back so that I could tug one off and blow a load as I fell out of an airplane. Mm-hmm. Like that was the most insane undertaking. That's the most challenging thing we've ever put together logistically. As a production coordinator, that was the biggest challenge.
That was the biggest challenge, and then I think that the amount that we were relying on you to bust the nut. That's fair.
Right,
the window at which you had to bust the nut.
And then the actual like execution of the stunt. Like, I mean, that's among the most challenging stunts I've ever had to quote pull off. You know, like,
it would be
and then like capturing it. You know, like it's not that easy to like blow a load falling out of an airplane and get it perfectly
and just get the money shot.
Get the full on money shot.
Yeah.
And like the fact of that, it's like it's. I think I might genuinely be the only guy in the world who could make a video of that and like proudly put it out. Like, yep, this is what I'm about. You know, like what? Come to my show and watch me jack off.
Yeah.
Like that's gnarly. Nobody can get away with that. And like and so like it's just the most forbidden, the most challenging, the most like from a production point of view, like it's like lightning in a bottle, man.
Well, I think that'd be like a porn star like filming a porn, and they're like, okay, you have to start fucking at 2:30, and by 2:39 you have to bust a nut, or all of this work.
Dude,
you're just in your head thinking like, okay, all the fucking 2:39.
There was a 2-minute window, not a 9-minute window. It had to
no, you had to bust a nut. Okay, they're like, you start fucking at 2:30, and then you have to bust a nut at 2:39 to 2:40, and you're just like in your head like, okay, fucking, I have to bust this nut, and then it mattered. Like,
yeah, I mean, dude, it was gnarly.
Yeah,
it was gnarly, and so as far as like stunt footage, it is ridiculous. Like, I love stuff that that crosses boundaries. I love stuff that goes too far. The stuff that I love filming stuff that nobody's willing to show because it's just that crazy. You know,
sure.
like as far as like uncensored, like gnarly, like forbidden footage, like that's the top of the pile. And as far as like from a storytelling, live comedy perspective, there's so many layers to it. There's just so many like laughs per minute in the Skyjacking bit. Like as far as strong stand-up and like ultra high level forbidden stunt footage, top of the pile.
Yeah.
Plus, I always love like showing people something they've never seen before, even though you don't even know that you needed to see it, but like just something where like wow, I've never seen that, seen that ever. You know, like I love doing that.
And dude, like how proud am I? I say I'm the only guy in the world who could pull it off, but like think of it this way, like when you come to my show, Like, you don't even necessarily think, like, oh, my God, like, I'm going to have to sit here and watch a guy blow a load. Like, you know, like, it's just like, oh, I'm going because this show's going to be, like, super crazy. Like, that's all this crazy stuff. And then I think, like, when I say at the end of the show, this bit's called Skyjacking, I think people realize, like, oh. And then I tell the story, and it's my job by the time I play that clip to have people be okay with what they're about to see. Mm-hmm. And, like...
Even your dad and sister.
My dad and sister, like, all my...
I couldn't believe you fucking... You know what I mean?
And, dude, that's my proudest work. That, like, on a nightly basis on tour, I take 1,000 people on a journey right up to Skyjacking, where they sit there and joyfully watch me jack off to completion, and like they're laughing, they're laughing. And
they
enjoying.
Cheer it. Like when that happened, they're like, yeah, you know, like,
yeah.
But yeah, that's such a good point. If you just came out and said, hey, here's a video of Skyjacking, you just played it,
People
it would
be
not
pissed.
perform nearly as well. Like you have built them, like you've built enough trust with them at that point. You kind of really worked them to where they love it now. Like they're joyous.
I mean, so yeah, those are the reasons why I consider that the crown jewel. You know,
Yeah,
I think that like, I like, it takes a level of mastery to make that okay for 1,000 people to joyfully watch together.
I love masturbatory.
Yeah. And so whatever, like that's maybe a little much.
Well, so we were talking about the board, right?
Oh yeah, so
you made
now
a
I've
board
got
with it.
to commemorate this crown jewel. There's the Skyjacking skateboard, autographed Skyjacking skateboards at
Yeah, there's not that many left too. I mean,
are there really? Wait, come on.
I mean, that are signed.
All right.
Because we send a lot to...
Oh, that's right. We sent a bunch to the UK, so there really aren't that many. And gee, I didn't even promote them.
Yeah, no, they're selling. You know, that's the people that go to the website. I don't know. We can even cut this out, but do you want to talk about that person that you talked to that lives on the East Coast that came out of nowhere after 20 years? That reached out on an email. I forwarded it to you. Do you want to talk about that, or do you not?
Wow.
Because that's some juicy little fucking...
I don't want to put that on blast.
If it's the one I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll tell you
I
after.
think you do.
If he doesn't want to...
Do I?
But we can cut this all out and make it smoother. I can say it again. But is that something that... Because you don't want to scare him off.
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. Since you did that, we're not going to cut anything out. I was totally shocked, and I don't think I'm worried about scaring anybody off. And if they're not comfortable with the spotlight or attention, then maybe they want to rethink it. But I'm gonna go out and
Let her
say
rip,
it.
dude.
A guy reached out who I haven't seen in 20 years, thinking about getting back into the spotlight in some fashion. And his name is Brandon DiCamillo.
Oh, shit.
And I spoke to him on the phone. I mean, dude, we had a great talk, you know, and it's just been like...
How long do you guys talk for?
I told him by text, I said, dude, you're the closest thing to an actual unicorn that I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, it's funny. Maybe I am kind of a unicorn. And, you know, he
Does he talk to anybody?
I'm not even sure, man. We just talked about like what it might look like for him to, you know, get back into show business.
Yeah.
Now, what does he want to do? Like, what kind of...
He's not, I told him that I thought that he, like, out of anybody, would be the best suited for performing live comedy. Mm-hmm. I think that he could just absolutely kill it in comedy clubs. Like, just if you imagine just like a chunk of his set being freestyling, you know, like just ranting, like, you know, I mean, that's what, like, I really consider that out of anybody who was ever involved with Jackass, he stands alone as the most talented one of all of us. you could take a bunch of us and put us together, and he's more talented than that.
Like, just spontaneity, or like.
And I told him this on the phone, that his ability to do nothing like remarkable, nothing physical, nothing like dangerous or shocking or scandalous or anything, but to just do very little and make it ultra compelling, totally hilarious, and just like spin gold out of nothing. Like,
yeah.
He hasn't been active on social media at all, right?
No, but I understand that he has like filmed like sketches and stuff that he just never showed anybody.
Whoa.
Just for his own satisfaction.
That's sick.
I think I want to say that he confirmed that, but I mean, I don't know. Like, he's not. Like, I told him, like, I think he could kill it in live comedy, and if he ever wants to come with me on tour, like, we could spend time together.
We might be doing an East Coast tour September.
Yeah,
Maybe he wants to show up to Boston. Maybe
I think we are.
Comment in the comment section if you want to see Brandon in Boston.
I think that's a great idea, and like he's. I just told him, like, the YouTube and creating content. I think he'd just really be well suited to be a content creator. And he said, yeah, like he wants to wait. I even told him, I think it'd be better to wait until like you've got sort of a good amount of stuff to put out, and then we'll get we can get you on the podcast and promote it.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be a great podcast guest.
Dude.
I mean, we've talked about him. It's like, because we were like, man, like trying to find these unicorns, because like we love when it's somebody that like.
It's always Brandon Deco that comes
Yeah, Deco
up.
is the top of that list always.
For sure. Yeah, he'll crush.
Have you heard from Bam? I don't even want to talk about it, but like you haven't.
I don't think I'm on his good side anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like at this point, I don't know anything about him, but more than anybody else.
Yeah, that's a good place to be.
I mean, there's nothing good about it. I wish that he was doing great and killing it, but. Yeah, I don't know, and if he's really in a treatment center right now, like hopefully he can turn the corner.
Did you know Lamar Odom had treatment centers?
I saw that on TMZ like a while back.
But he has them.
He's got 3 now, I heard.
He's got 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, good for him. Maybe we can get Lamar Odom on the podcast.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that serves to tangle some wires.
For sure.
I don't know if that makes the most sense in the world.
But yeah, so this is going to air Thursday. Like, I enjoy doing the podcast, and like I enjoy doing
it's
these
so sick. Dude, Benny Blanco was the greatest.
Benny Blanco was the greatest
was so
guest
sick.
in a long time.
We went an hour and a half, and it felt like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
I do, like, if anybody's listening to this still and didn't see the Benny Blanco podcast, find it. Let's link it here, because dude, that guy produces music for like who?
The biggest people out there: Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran, Sia,
yeah,
everybody.
He's just the most like.
He was sleeping at Jay-Z and Beyonce's house, like working with Kanye. That's you don't hear that every day,
Right.
Yeah, he's got a rad life, man.
I think next week we might have back-to-back guest podcasts, and the following week we'll have another one of these solo podcasts. But that one's gonna be you guys just ambushing me with the most brutal negative comments. Like you're
gonna read you're gonna pick some comments from the previous ones and like.
I don't even want to necessarily.
Yeah, I don't even think we should let him pick. I think we pick.
Oh, I'll pick.
He doesn't know until we shoot.
Yeah, and don't go easy on me. The point is to hurt my feelings.
Yeah. So now that's
having said that,
people are gonna start writing the gnarliest comments.
Yeah,
now.
but only from the past. Like you sound like Whoopi Goldberg. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, no. I mean, that's kind of rad.
Yeah, I've pulled some. I think
Whoopi Goldberg has a career.
Yeah, she's awesome. No, I've pulled a bunch of comments because Scott said this was coming.
That's a really good point, Vinny.
Not going forward, we want to acknowledge
it.
Don't even waste your time writing negative comments to try to get featured on a video, because these comments have already been curated.
Yeah.
And did you have enough already?
I have a bunch, and I think, but
We have 2 episodes worth already.
no, but what I also grabbed was like an interesting comment or like something that sparks some conversation. I don't think we should do an episode that's just hurting your feelings and making you sad and just reading negative things. Like some of that is funny, but like, you know,
Right.
I've been pulling like, and I put on Instagram, like if anyone's got any questions for us, maybe we'll read them soon
that.
and like
See if we
just
can Paul
have
now.
fun. Like it's fun. It's fucking
like-
fun.
it's like that,
let's keep it fun.
Steve's like, hurt my feelings,
Yeah.
make me think twice about my life.
Yeah. He's like, I
me
just crossed my
hate
crucify on me. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's the name of the
But I
episode.
think
Make
that's
me
a
hate
good-
myself.
Because that's gonna be the next solo one where you're like, we're gonna be talking about that, right?
I
That's
mean,
the
I
big
think
one.
that that's an important like step in just like processing, like, you know, dude, this was therapeutic for me, man. Like, I appreciate you guys. I'm glad that I spoke up. I hope that this podcast resonates with our audience.
And like, dude, I read the comments. Like, I like to engage.
Yeah, I do too.
So like, I want to be more engaging in the comments. Like, if you know,
Are the comments acknowledging the effort that I've put in to be more?
Less of an asshole.
There definitely are some. There definitely are some.
Yeah, less
Yeah.
of an asshole and just like a conversational etiquette.
Yes, there's definitely some. It's like, wow, this was great. Steve really let the guest talk on this one. I've seen at least one of those. I pulled.
no. I mean, it's all good, and I think maybe you even go through some of the old podcasts and read them in real time, and get real live reactions to that.
I mean, like, present me with the kind. I think you guys reading them to me. That way,
Yeah.
the audience can hear them, and I'll hear them at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about? I mean, do you want to wrap this up, or is there anything you want to say? Do you want to say maybe tease who the next guest is going to be, or anything like that, or do you want to just
Next guest is for sure Eric Andre, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
That'd
is
be a good
awesome.
one.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Eric Andre can steer more people back to Benny Blanco too, because they're such bros.
Yeah.
I actually kind of regret that we didn't put him out in the original order intended.
We still can.
No.
No, like Benny Blanco's out.
All right. I think we can wrap this
Can
up.
I say something?
Yeah, please do.
I'm not asking anybody to buy anything.
Oh, boy.
I just want people to go check out the new website.
Yeah, that's your new website.
My new
Yeah,
website.
dude, I love it.
skinnyvinny.tv. You don't
I
have to
love
buy
it.
shit. Just go check it out.
Buy a sticker.
Because we put a lot of hard work into it.
Yeah.
Buy a sticker. Fucking support. But yeah, skinnyvinny.tv.
Skinnyvinny.tv, and
Yeah.
it's worth mentioning that when you go to stevo.com, it's a whole new website too, and we worked super hard on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, happy birthday, dude. I love you, man.
Oh
dude.
shit!
Happy
It's my
birthday,
birthday.
dog.
Yeah, I really, yeah. I love the guys, Paul and Scott. Our birthday present to you was not texting you.
Yeah.
That's epic, dude. Thank you for that. All right, I love you, everybody.
Love you guys.
Later.
So this week has been a roller coaster, guys. And I'll tell you what I did immediately after this podcast wrapped up. I went over to a place called Foam Mart and traced the outline of the window of the podcast van and got a piece of foam. Then I went over to Home Depot to get a new air conditioner so that because it's summer, man, it's gonna be hot. So like with the foam, and I figured then I built this foam capsule to go over the top of the air conditioner to run the hose through the window and cool down the van. And I just got such a big kick out of it. Made a video of it. And gosh dang darn it, I'm posting that video. It's me building a foam top to an air conditioner. And I'm going to post it because I think that's cool. But it should be in the stories, just the stories.
I don't know.
I don't know. I have the heart to watch that thing kill, like die out there, but whatever. In any case, I'm a work in progress over here, guys. And I do want to end with this. But by no means are any like negative comments getting featured in anything. But if you do have any like actual questions, we will be looking in this comment section for interesting questions to spark discussion on future no guest Wild Ride episodes. Let us know if you like the no guest episodes, man, because like I want to give you guys what you want because I love you, especially the ones who stick around to the very end. So thank you, and I hope your week's fucking awesome.